This is where a big tree stump was, and there's usually a lot of water underneath the tree stump. So in the process of getting the stump out, we had to drive the tractor through the hole and pushing all this debris out, and literally got tractors stuck in here trying to get all this out of here. But you can see what was left behind. There's a lot of work left in here to make this yard back to the shape that it was in before the storm. When you think about the damages that are caused by a disaster, a lot of times people think, you know, I just want to throw my hands up. My home will never be the same. Well, you know, nowadays, if you look at new developments, a lot of times they'll cut down every tree and they'll stick a house in the middle of the field and put you 2 little trees out there, and that's your home. As you look around these yards, even though we've had mass devastation, you'll notice there's still a lot of nice trees, grown, mature trees that survived the storm. So, you know, people don't realize, but their yards are going to come back. Their lawns are going to be back to normal. If you take a look over here, you see these leaning pine trees over the house? This is a good example of a couple trees they probably won't want to have there anymore after they went through this disaster. Those trees right there are leaning toward the house, plus all the limbs are on the house side. A lot of times a tree like that might survive, and the people will say, well, you know, it made it through the storm, it must be pretty good. Well, not necessarily. If the wind was blowing against the lean, the way that tree is leaning, if the tree's leaning this way and the wind's blowing this way, that tree may not fall over just because it's leaning in that particular storm. The next storm might be half as much wind, but it's coming from the other direction. Bam, the tree's on the house. So this is not, you know, this is not a good tree to have over your home, a leaning tree with all the limbs over the house side. If you'll pan back over to the tree, I'll tell you a little bit more about the tree. If you'll notice, the tree's leaning over the house, and on top of that, the tree has all its limbs on the house side. A lot of times people will ask me, why is that? Because usually when they build a house, they clear out where the house is going to go. So you have a big open hole of space there. If the house is like 30 or 40 years old, like this house is, the trees will grow out over the house as they mature to get to that hole where that light is, because they feed on light. And in this case, there was trees behind this. Previous to the storm, there were trees behind this tree, which means all the limbs started reaching out over the house to get to that light. So that's the problem with having trees right up next to your house. Eventually, they're going to grow out over your house and be leaning out over your house. He loves. Huh?
Get with this camera. Yeah, he's got a lot of shots.
Yeah.
My uncle did that house. We did that red house. We did this house here. That one.
Is that?
And we did this one here. And that one next door.
Is this crane doing a lift?
This is a British loader.
Oh.
Taking them on the side of the road. They got the next door house.
Yeah. Good?
What y'all got going here?
What do you mean? He's going to move over to that uprooted stump over there. We're going to get a chance to see him grinding on an uprooted stump.
Yeah, these are the ones where you say these blades are $30 a piece or something?
$300 a set. They're carbide tip blades. $10 per tooth, and there's at least 32 of them on a wheel. So you're talking about $320.
Yeah,
Mulch.
why don't you just go over there and do your story?
Where there once stood a stump, now stands a pile of dirt and mulch. This is ready to be smoothed over, and grass can begin to replace itself here. And it'll be as good as new in a few months. You'll be able to just mow this area. Look at this stump, you'll see that wood section right there that he's going to start grinding on is normally all that you would grind. But he's going to have to grind all this additional material behind the wood, all the uprooted dirt and rock and root and all that. And the reason why we always talk about the rocks and stuff that are in the ground, because that's what really damages your teeth. The dirt does a lot of harm, but the rocks and the metal and the things you hit in the ground really do a number on your stump grinder. So you can go through these teeth. Sometimes you got to change your teeth every day. 10 bucks.
10 bucks each.
For 10 or plus for those.
Yes, sir.
Gym, and sometimes I wish I could be out here more with the guys.
Yeah.